All right, fighter. As you all know, I'm nicknamed African Dominican. You have a problem with me being called African, being nicknamed African Dominican.
No, I think it's funny.
Why do you think it's funny?
Because I know you're like, I guess you're like trolling people with it. so you're basically like Dominican but African. So it's just funny. It's a troll thing. Like I have no problem with it. I laugh at it. I don't have an issue with it. You could consider me Cocolo, right? I'm from San Pedro Macorís. That's the eastern side of the island. Yo, I know I'm a mixed person, and I'm predominantly Black African, but I wanted to know what's my mixture, just to be curious. And it was pretty much what I thought, and that's how I was able to build friendships with people like African Dominican, aka Valentina, Xtina, and so on and so forth. And this is how we became having these conversations about passport bros and racial issues, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
You said you are mixed, you are Dominican, you were born in America, but you live in the Dominican Republic and America as well, right? You speak Spanish fluently, so
Yes.
it's not, say some Spanish.
Claro que sí, yo hablo español muy bien, clarito, sí, lo leo, lo escribo, ya tú sabes.
See, he's Dominican. He even has a Dominican Spanish accent when he speaks, right? So, because some people, you know what I'm saying in Spanish, because I've seen some people write comments on my channel say that father is not Dominican, he's a Cocolo. What do you have to say to people who keep saying that you're not Dominican?
I mean, that's okay. Like, that's okay. Like, they can say what they want. Because I know who I am, I know what I am. I know I'm part Cocolo or whatever. And, they're considered Dominican. So, I'm okay with whatever they think. That's okay with me.
Please help us understand, what's a Cocolo?
Cocolo are the migrants from the Anglo-Caribbean countries. Late 1800s to late 1800s to the early 1900s. They went there to work at the sugarcane factories and looking for work. And they ended up staying there, assimilating to being Dominican. That's why many times you might see these very dark-skinned people who speak Spanish, but they have an English last name. So those are the Cocolos, migrants of Anglo-Caribbean countries.
So why do some people say that Cocolos are not Dominican? Like, why would they say that?
Anyone who says that, they basically they venerate the Spanish side, right? Anyone who says that, they venerate the Spanish side, and they want to dig back into history. They want to delve into history 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago, and they say originally these were the people that were there. So.
Okay, and
that's why they say the original are the Taino, and also the Spanish, because that's what made Dominican Republic. But then what people forget is they also brought slaves, African slaves, and then they ended up mixing, right? And that's what made the Dominicans this special group. So, and later on, as time went on, Anglo-Caribbeans came in, and Haitians too came in.
Right. So does it offend you when people say that you're not Dominican and you're Cocolo? To other Dominicans like you, do you think it's a very offensive thing to say?
Someone could get offended. Like before, the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck? But then after a while, I'm like, they're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
But their whole point is the real Dominicans were mestizo, or the more Spaniards.
The more white looking.
The more, So because they're going by chronological time period. Because, basically.
Right.
When I was in school, my favorite subject was history and social studies. So I was always interested in how different cultures and civilizations operate.
Tell me, how do you feel about Africa?
I mean, how do I feel about Africa? Okay, Africa's a big place. Like, it's a big place.
Okay, when you think about Africa, what comes to your mind?
The the pyramids, lions.
Nothing. Okay, pyramid lines.
Nigerians scamming. Like I don't know.
Does anything?
And Nollywood.
Nollywood, the movies.
Yeah,
You watch those?
Sometimes, yeah, they're funny.
They're funny?
They're funny.
Yeah. Okay, so you are a mixture of African, Taino, and European. Predominantly African, because you're black presenting, obviously.
Right.
So when people ask you the infamous question of Dominican, how you identify, how do you respond to that question?
It depends how they ask me the question.
Okay.
The moment they hear me speaking Spanish, they're gonna say, "Oh, what are you? What are you? Dominican? What are you?" She's like, they'll be like, "Oh, I thought you were black."
And then
They always tell me that. I thought you were black, and I said, "No, I'm Dominican." You know, and that's self-explanatory. People already know that Dominicans are mixed. So.
are Dominicans mostly black presenting mixed people, or more like white presenting mixed people?
And it's hard. I think it's kind of like in the middle. It's more like in the middle. Yeah, it's in the middle.
So
you could say right now, in the times we're living in now, a Dominican is a mulatto nation.
Mulatto nation. Okay, so they're neither black presenting, neither white presenting.
Right, they're like right in the middle, you know. Some people got a little bit more of something, but they're right in the middle. But that's why in America, they had segregation. In DR, we didn't have that.
Is it because it wasn't labor racism? You didn't put labels to it, but does it change the fact that it could have existed?
Yeah, no, it existed, but the thing was, it was abolished a long time ago, and they intermixed with each other, so people were more used to that. You know, families were used to seeing someone lighter or darker than them.
Okay. So, Fighter, you are more black presenting, right? Or you say you're more? Do you think you are more black presenting?
As far as the way I look.
The black presenting is based on looks, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
You can say that, yeah.
Okay, so when people say, "Oh, I thought you were black," so to you, you take that to mean what?
African American.
African American,
Yeah.
okay. And not just your black skin color, more like African American.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
because this is visible. You can see. You
Right.
can see, yeah, that I'm a color, yeah.
Right.
I think what Dominicans they embrace who they are.
Do you think they equally embrace all their mixes?
No. They embrace what it means to be Dominican. We're not thinking about, we don't think about Africa or Europe. We're thinking about what it is, what Dominican culture is. Because we have movies, we have music, we have our own food. So we embrace what it is to be Dominican.
And the reason why I ask is because, like, I know I've traveled to many different countries. I'm from Africa, obviously. I lived in America, lived in England, right?
Right.
And in Africa, you know, like Namibia, South Africa, we have a lot of mixed people too, right?
Correct.
Who are probably more, either who sometimes appear to be Mexican looking, right? But they still consider themselves African heritage, right? So I guess my thing is, like, you know, me and you were talking about the whole anti-black thing. You know, like, I don't have anything against people identify any how they want. You know, if you want to say you are mixed, that's fine with me, right? But for the sake of a discussion, I definitely acknowledge that Dominicans are a mixture of black, Taino, and European, and I think they should equally embrace the both of their heritages. I guess where I come in because I feel like Africa is not as highlighted. I feel like most of them celebrate more their European side. Do you think that's true? Do you think you equally celebrate or highlight both of your mixes? That's not celebrating all of Dominican if you're not celebrating your African features. Would you agree?
No, I would disagree.
Why would you disagree?
Because I have family members, and I know many women who they love wearing their curly hair, or you know, their thicker hair. So they don't have self-hating issues like that.
Do you really believe them, Fighter?
Yeah.
That's a big industry in Dominican Republic. The nose done, the body done, the back done, the skin. You know, it's like more like trying to appear more. The back is the only African thing that I feel like is celebrated, but everything else I feel like it's made to appear more European, like no straightening. And also the lips, those are some more African, right? But they do go through the knife. When you accept who you are, you don't really alter your body as much.
Yeah, I think that's more of a personal insecurity thing. Every culture, everyone has personal insecurities. You know, Dominicans are not special in that manner. You know.
I agree with that. But since we're talking about Dominicans, something that also needs to be acknowledged, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but my thing is like, on my channel, I talk about Africa, I talk about Dominican Republic, and I feel like I love everybody, but I feel like when people become so defensive, it makes you like, why be so defensive? There's one thing to be a nationalist, but defending everything about your country is almost like being in denial.
Okay.
Do you think Dominicans have a tendency to be anti-African features or anti-black? Anti-black can mean anti-African features.
No.
Okay, so you don't think they are?
No.
Some of them maybe, or not, none at all?
Yeah, some of them maybe, yeah.
Some of them maybe, or some of them definitely. You don't know any anti-African features Dominicans?
No.
You don't know anybody like that?
In person, no.
No.
Online, yeah, but in person, no.
Okay. Recently, I was on your live, and you said light skin or mixed people are superior in looks or just superior. What can you please clarify that point?
Yeah, I think mixed people, for some reason, they look good. They look good. Like when you have someone who's like Blackanese, like a black Filipino. You just mixed people. Like look at Brazilian women, look at Cape Verdean women, look at even American women, black American women who are, you know, black and they have some, you know, a nice percentage of European in them. They look good for some reason. Mixed people look good to me. And the reason I think that is because I myself, I have a good percentage of European in me, but I'm, you know, you could say I have a mixed look to me. So I like people that look like me, you know, and I think that's natural. But you don't like people that look like you.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying also that someone of a darker shade don't look good. And I'm also not saying that someone of a lighter shade don't look good. But I think mixed people generally look better.
On average, they look better.
Yes. Like heavily mixed.
But you say they are superior to dark-skinned people?
They're superior, okay, in looks, like dark skin and white. Don't forget the white part. You know who white people are? Okay. So they're superior to white people and black people.
Okay, superior to everybody.
Yes.
They're superior to everybody who's not mixed.
Thank you.
Fire is saying that mixed people are superior in looks to everybody else who's not mixed.
Exactly.
Okay. And also what else I've heard, mixed people, mixed people have a lot of identity issues. Have you come across that?
Okay. The only time that maybe mixed or light-skinned people would have issues, I think, is when mainly darker people make them feel bad for being of a lighter shade. Because maybe the darker person might feel inferior. Or they might be jealous.
Or none of the above.
Right, yeah, no, because sometimes, like, let's say a mixed person might not be hateful, or they might not think like that. They might not be hateful or think that they're better than anyone just because of the way they look. But a darker skinned person will project hate on them or try to make them feel bad or try to make them feel like they're not black enough because they're heavily mixed.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like the acceptance, sometimes they're not accepted on any side. The white side doesn't think they're good enough to be on their side.
In the black
people doesn't think they're good enough to be on their side. So they're like in the middle. It's like, so that's where the identity issue comes in.
So that, I mean, but I think that only happens when you're young. You know, if you're an older person and you still have that issue, there's something wrong with you. Now, when you're a little kid, I can understand, because when you're a little kid or teenager, you're forming who you are as a human being. As a child, you're gonna have identity issues, period.
Right, but you also believe that what you experience as a child, whether it's rejection or bullying or some kind of mental health abuse or anything, that can it kind of like makes who you are as an adult, how you think. If you don't get therapy, right? If you don't get the right therapy, you can grow up to be also an insecure adult.
You don't need. I don't think you need therapy for that.
You don't think it can be traumatic for some people?
I mean, they're weak. If they're like, I don't need therapy to know who I am.
What about therapy for emotional abuse and psychological abuse? You grew up, right? You're not accepted. Either somebody thought you were too dark, your grandmother did not love you, they treated your last kid sister better than you, or your last kid, and it's like your white family didn't accept you. So that's like rejection, that's like abandonment issues, rejection, right? And that can manifest in an adult. It can manifest as having issues because you don't know who you are because nobody could ever accept who you are fully, right?
I mean, I can speak from my experience.
Uh-huh.
My mother was adopted by a Dominican woman. My mother was adopted by a Dominican woman who is my grandmother that passed away. And she was white, you know, she had blue eyes, and a lot of them had blonde hair, and they never, ever made me feel like I'm not part of the family. So
you had a good family.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're not too far from her house now here in the Bronx.
Right.
So, you know, they never made me feel like I wasn't part of the family.
Right.
Ever.
So you were part of it.
They actually compliment me on my looks.
Right. So you were from a good family that will love you no matter what, and not everybody's from that kind of family. So
that's why it's foreign to me when people say Dominicans, you know, like self-hatred. Like, to me, it's weird to hear that because I didn't experience that.
Right. And I feel like not just Dominicans, we're talking about Dominicans right now, but I feel like self-hatred comes with altering who you are, right?
Right.
If you don't have a self-hatred or insecurity about yourself, you're not changing anything about yourself, right? Like if you're dark skin, you bleach your skin, right? Or if you have natural hair, you straightening your hair is supposed to make it manageable, so I'm not gonna really blame them for that. Or when you have or getting a BBL, that can be part of, the identity thing as well. Or getting your nose done, or going through the whole surgery to change your looks, right? So that's why I agree with you on that. You said that you only like to date people that look like you because you mix, right? And everybody in this world is pretty much mixed, some more than others, right? Initially, you have like dark skin people like light skin people. Usually light skin people like darker. It's like opposite attracts. But for you, someone has to look like you, mixed. But then everybody's mixed. You can have a dark skin person who's presenting black, but she's really mixed. But the only thing that becomes a problem is when you think certain people are more superior than other people, because then that becomes racism and colorism, which is not right. Speaking of traveling to the Dominican Republic, passport bros, I think they should be credited or popularized in Dominican women. Because first of all, Black Americans, nobody will talking about Dominican women like that, right? And then people like to hit Black American men and say, you like our women, but really they are the ones who put Dominican women on the map. So, look how fighting.
On the map? What? Like in a bad way? No. They put.
Talk about it.
They put Dominican women on a map on a bad way. They put it on the map in a bad way because what they now people think that this is how Dominican women are. They just prostitutes. When they don't. No. You ever heard of Vegas? Atlantic City? Like. They literally promote it, like the whole Vegas is known for that. And now there's a little area in Dominican Republic. It's like a 2-block radius, and now it's giving Dominican Republic a bad name, or the women a bad name. So that's what I don't like about the passport bros. The passport bros or boys, whatever, there wasn't supposed to be this thing about prostitution, right? It was supposed to be about men traveling the world, experiencing something new. That was the purpose of that, right? But I guess these travelers, a lot of travelers want to practice in sex tourism. And I mean, me personally, I don't believe in paying a woman to sleep with you. You know, if you're okay with that, that's okay. You know, speaking to the guys out there, that's you, that's your money. But I don't think that's right, I guess, right? I don't think that's good for your self-esteem, right? But I also don't like the promotion about it, because it's like, oh, look at me, I could get all these women. No, you're paying for her. You're paying her to sleep with you. You're not this great guy, you know, that make a lot of money, and you're funny, and you're handsome, and you're charismatic. You're paying her to sleep with you. So any guy in the street could get her. So what makes you special? You're not.
Right.
So I don't like that they promote that.
Right. And I heard one of the passport bros say that
It gives us a bad name.
give you guys your Dominicans a bad name.
It makes it seem like that's how the women are, when that's the low-level women. They might be beautiful and attractive, but no.
Okay, what about the women that they don't necessarily walk the streets?
Right.
There's a lot of like, I keep hearing there's a lot of professional Dominican women, like they work in the lawyers and the doctors, nurses, but they still do that, but they just do it in a different way, right? Like they do their OnlyFans, or they do their WhatsApp pictures. Like they still have their little boyfriends, but they just don't walk the street, but they still do the same thing for prostitution.
Oh, okay. Now I hope you'll accept this answer. That happens everywhere.
What about the Dominican Republic right now?
Okay, but no. But we have to compare it to something, right?
No, I guess my question is because you're saying that they give a woman a bad name, right?
Right.
Because it's prostitution that way. But I'm like, what about when they're just doing it like undercover, you know? Like, if those are still doing it, she might not be walking the streets of the sewer.
I mean, let me put it like this. Those women have the utility. Maybe you shouldn't want to take her serious and maybe not have kids with her and marry her or invest in her. But you can maybe have fun with her for a night or two.
And they still pay them. They still have to be getting paid.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't pay to have sex with a woman.
Yeah. And apparently, I think some of the passport pro said that when you pay them, right, you you like ordering something from the menu, right? You get exactly what you ask for, right? Basically, you just get a girl, unless she's really into you and you get to know her more. But a lot of those guys don't have time to spend getting to know a woman. They just want to go to your country, and go back to their regular.
It's business.
It's business, right? Because a lot of those guys also do have women back in their country, but they just maybe they just don't have the same kind of women. Maybe they look for something different, right? But they still,
that could be true too, yeah.
But they still have, it's not like they can't get women in America, they just don't want to because they find something easy. I don't need a headache, I can just go and pay for something and I leave.
My whole thing is,
do you agree with Chivo and what he says about trying to watch the Dominican Republic?
Do I agree with Chivo? Do I agree? No, but I understand where he's coming from. I do understand where he's coming from because he's very on the lighter side himself, right? And so is his family. So he sees that Dominican Republic is turning blacker as time goes on, and he doesn't want that. He wants it to revert back to people that look like him. And I can understand that position, right? Because I'm okay with whatever happens to Dior. I'm not gonna, no, sorry, let me take that back. I'm not gonna say I'm okay with whatever happens to Dior, but I want it to be what I know it to be. You know, mixed people. That's what I know it to be.
So you don't believe Dominican Republic should have dark-skinned people?
That what?
So you don't believe Dominican Republic should have dark-skinned people? Everybody should be mixed?
No. That shouldn't. No, that's why did you put it like that?
No, you said you want it to be how it was, like mixed. be a mixed nation. They don't want it to have black people.
But there's been black people there for a long time.
So what's the problem with having more black people?
What's the problem with having more black people? I mean, I don't know. I want it to be like me. I want people to look like me.
But they don't
or lighter. But
not darker.
Or darker too, right?
Okay, but looking like you, what does that mean? Like
mixed.
Okay, that because everybody's pretty much mixed in this world. I'm mixed, but I guess I'm not mixed as you, but everybody's mixed. Right, I don't have that. If I'm not South Sudanese, I'm most likely everybody's mixed. Some more than others.
Yeah, I mean, this is my thing, right? This is the beautiful thing about DR. They have every variation. They have very white people, and I'm okay with that. They have very dark people, and I'm okay with that. I have people in my family like
right, but you just don't want a lot of the dark people.
I don't want a lot of the dark people.
You want them to look more like light skin. You don't want to.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna? No, I'm not. No, I don't have an issue with dark skinned people. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. I know.
Now, why don't you ask me about the white people?
Wait. Let me. Because my channel is now white focused. You know, everybody has, Macho's channel, Macho will ask you about that more, you know. My thing is like, I can't be all over the place, you know. Everybody has a certain area that's neglected. I feel like Africa is neglected, so I focus on that. Other people have their areas that they focus on mostly. I can't be all over the place, right? I also am African Dominican, I'm not European Dominican, right?
This is my thing. I don't want Dominican Republic to look like Haiti. And I don't want Dominican Republic. Yeah, and I said that on purpose. I don't want it to look like Haiti, and I also don't want it to look like Spain. You get it?
You want it to be mixed. You just want it to be light-skinned people.
Yes, and but then there's the thing. When you're mixed, right? There's gonna be variations of it.
Right.
Like the lady over there serving.
She's mixed, right?
Yeah, but she's on.
That guy's also mixed, right then.
Right. And
then also, I'm also mixed.
You're not really mixed.
I am mixed now. Now, everybody's mixed, okay? Mixed does not mean having like 30% white mix. If mixed, everybody is mixed on their own. Thank you. Everybody's mixed in this world. All black people are mixed because of colonialism and slavery and colonialism, right?
I get that, but
right.
But we're not talking about like. We're not talking about 5%.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. He doesn't want. He wants a mixture, like at least he wants to have as little African as possible, right? And as little European as possible. So you want what? You want exactly like divided between. Okay, how do you want it to be divided? Because Tainos are almost like all gone. You guys only have really 4% Tainos. So how do you want?
Oh no, that's more than that.
Just a little, maybe 5% most.
No. No.
On the most part, not just average. Let's talk about what's been average right here.
It's over 15, over 10.
Not over. More on average than most people. So
what?
But most Dominicans.
Wait, you said you went to Bonao?
Some region, like that's not like Bonao is not all most Dominicans.
Okay, have you been to Santiago?
I've been to all over Dominican Republic. Some areas are more white presenting than others. Like Namibia, my country, if I go to Rehoboth, I'll see like lighter skin than people in Bonao.
You're funny, yo. 50-50. I wanted to be close to 50-50.
You must be close to 50-50. So like if you are 45% white, you're good. If you're 45%, yeah, a little bit of both. That's what you want Dominican Republic to be. That's why they don't want a lot of Haitians there, right? Because Haitians are black in Dominican Republic.
Well, Haitians, black in Dominican Republic, they could blacken it, yeah. If they mix with the people and everything, yeah, they could blacken it.
So do you think Dominican Republic is going to change with time? You know, in America, there used to be more white people, there's more Mexicans or Latinos. So don't you think Dominicans should accept that fate too? That if things can't stay the same, this is a changing world. You can't just want to be stuck in the past. Just like in America, there are more Latinos than white people. So should America also try to enforce?
No, Latinos are getting there.
Yeah, but more than before, right? Just like it's like more black people are getting in the Dominican Republic, right? Or maybe it's always been like that, who knows, right? But my thing is like, so you think America should feel the same way, like, oh no, we need to whiten America more? Or you think only Dominican Republic should be allowed to think like that?
mean, cause my thing is like, I'll be real with you, like, like it doesn't bother me. Like, you know, if Dominican Republic is darker, okay. If they get lighter, okay. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, it really doesn't bother me. But if you had to ask me, I would like it to be the way it is.
What about for America? You're an American too. You were born and raised here. You're more American than Dominican.
Right.
So would you like that for your country, America? You want it to be more white, like it was before?
Would I like it to be? I mean, I don't know. I never really thought of that. Like, cause this is my thing. I'm not invested into that, you know, because I don't see how that's gonna change my life.
Right, but you invested with it in Dominican Republic where you don't even live.
Because that's what I am.
But you don't even live there. You live here. This is more like what affects your life more than anything.
But culturally, DR is like my heart.
Right, but what happens in America is more what affects you, your livelihood and your life, because this is where you live.
Either way, no matter what happens, I'll be good. Like, if people start turning purple, like, I'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be good.
True.
No matter what, I'm gonna be good.
Right.
So it doesn't bother me, you know.
Right.
And I think that's the issue.
Right.
Focusing on race is very low level, you know. There's things more important: family, work, traveling.
You know why?
Food, shelter, you know.
I feel like
race is like the minimal.
I don't know. Yeah, I think people.
It's low. Actually, it's low frequency.
People say that, but after I spoke to Pastor Jenny, I feel like everything in this world is about race, right? If you put race at the bottom, people are treated the way they are treated because of either the way they look, their skin color, or there are systems in place that make it harder for some people to live their lives, right? So race may be at the bottom when you look at it from the surface level, but everything in this world is about race. People try to advance their own kind, right? Like making sure that certain people they are given the bottom of, you know, whatever. But that's all part of ratio. In the Dominican Republic, yes, the same thing. The light-skinned people, the whiter people, they get better jobs, they get better treatment. In America, the same thing, right? So race is not at the bottom. When you really think about it, it's at the top because it defines how the world systems treat other people, right? Like I feel like right now, the reason why a lot of black countries are not successful, the powers that bill not let black people be successful. That's all ratio at the top, right? So I just feel like we like to put it under, I feel like the lowest of the lowest, but really in reality, it defines people's choices in life.
All right, so that's not my fight. Like my fight is not to make the world a better place. That's not my job. My job is to take care of myself and one day have kids and a family and make sure that they are productive.
Right.
Listen, the world will never be perfect. There'll always be problems, no matter what. So I'm gonna drive myself crazy trying to fix the world's problems.
Right.
I'm gonna go crazy.
Exactly. But at the same time, we can't escape from those problems because they will find us.
No, I'm not escaping. It's just
right. That's what you're saying.
I laugh at it. Like,
right.
This is a problem. Like, just hit it. Like, what problem?
Yeah. But I feel like talking about it puts it at the forefront and lets people know that you can't just, because we have to talk about issues to also somehow, even if there's a little bit of difference, it makes any little bit of difference makes a difference.
Okay, I think, let me put it like this, right? I think we can speak about race, right? We can have the conversation,
right.
But a man complaining about it is weak. Like, I think this conversation should be for women. Like the complaining part.
I don't think it's complaining, it's just talking about it.
Like, oh my God, they treat us bad because I'm dog. Like,
I don't even think.
No, listen, I look at it like, okay, if you're dark, right, or if you're light, or if you're white, or if you're purple, you're green, and you feel like people don't like you, who cares? Don't like them back.
I agree.
Okay.
But
right. Yeah. You know. Now sometimes I have the conversations on YouTube because I started talking about it and it's like I can't get out of that conversation.
Everybody wants to talk about it.
So the thing is, what I try to do is I try to introduce the conversation, but in different ways. And sometimes I try to veer off into other topics.
And then people will not watch so much. People are like intrigued by this.
And they get bored.
Right.
They want to talk about race. And sometimes I give it to them.
So I asked about Chivo, let me ask you about King Macho the first. Are you guys cool?
Yeah, I met Macho like 3 times.
Okay.
So like two, 3 times. Yeah.
Right.
I met him up, yeah. He cool, yeah. I like him. He
You
cool.
think he's a racist too? Between like he's like Chivo? What's the difference between him and Chivo?
No, I think you know what the issue is with Macho. He doesn't like the fact that it seems like Dominicans are being like bullied, like they want to bully Dominicans into submission, and Macho fights against that, you know. And I've hung around with Macho. He's cool with me, right? And I've seen Macho's family, you know. In Macho's family, he got people that look like me.
What's the difference between him and Chivo? What's the difference in that message? Is it one and the same?
No, Chivo is more extreme.
More extreme?
Yeah.
More like white and but Macho thinks it's Spaniard.
Yeah, like Macho knows he's mixed, but I think he says that to troll people because it's like they want him to feel guilt, white guilt. They want him to feel bad about being Spaniard or Spanish. People shouldn't force him to like feel bad or admit, oh my God, the Spanish were so evil. Like no, that's history, and we got to move on. And if it wasn't for slavery, I wouldn't be who I am.
You can't go to jail and you can't get canceled.
If it wasn't for the Spaniards and the Africans and the Tainos, I wouldn't be who I am.
So are you saying?
Thank you, Christopher Columbus.
So are you?
Thank you.
You thank Christopher Columbus for?
If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even exist.
What about for wiping out your Taino ancestors?
It's history, man. It's history.
So you're still thanking him for that?
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be who I am.
For the rapes, for the child murdering, for the wiping out the Taino people, for all the evil, you're still thanking him for because you exist?
Yo, you know what? And I think the Haitians, when they did that to Dominicans too.
You think the Haitians when they did what?
When the Haitians did that too. The Haitians...
You thank them for also doing the same evil to Dominicans that Christopher Columbus did?
Yeah, because... yeah.
What did the Haitians do?
Oh, they
massacred?
They took over our land. They tried to strip us of our language and culture.
And you thank them for that too?
I thank them because...
Why do you thank them for that?
You know why? Because it made us more strong. It made us powerful. It made us strong, and it made us be nationalistic.
Okay, define nationalistic.
That we care about our nation. We care about our people.
When you say care about your people, do you mean all people or just certain people?
Oh, no, of all our people, right?
All Dominicans.
What's his name? Under the Dominican Constitution, it said that under the flag we protect everyone, no matter race, gender, or religion or whatever. Like.
Okay,
yeah.
so in nationalist, do you speak out against your Dominican government, or you think that's not part of you being a nationalist?
Do I speak against my Dominican?
You ever say anything negative about your country?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to improve. No, sorry, that should improve.
Are you vocal about those things?
No, I've mentioned them before.
But you're not vocal about them.
I mentioned them. I've mentioned it.
Mentioned it. Because to be a nationalist is somebody who they don't shy away from any topics. They're not so defensive. They defend their country, but they're not defensive about BS, right? Now, for example, the Dominican government right now, you know, there's so many things, all world governments, right? But some people would not even dare speak up against the Dominican government because I mean, they'll rather speak up against the USA government because you're an American, but you're not even blink an eye to speak against the USA government. But when it comes to the Dominican government, I'm sure you'll be very careful. You don't even live there, right? But it's like you're very protective. That protective nationalism was almost like cowardice nationalism, where it's like you don't speak about the real issues of your country.
Wait, no. I'll speak about it right now.
Okay, what do you dislike about Dominican Republic?
There's 3 things that I think they should improve. Number 1, the transportation issue. Like motor vehicles, it's very dangerous. There's a lot. Dominican Republic is the #1 place in the world for like motor vehicle accidents and like leading to death. Dominican Republic is #1 due to the population.
I guess with the population, they just they don't go. They don't have proper training when it comes to driving.
That's one thing that they have to change. Number 2, I would say the alcoholism, man. I don't like how much they promote that, like the alcoholism. And I would say number 3, I say education. The education. I think they have to do better with the school system. Yeah.
Okay, and how do you feel about the current government? Are they doing a good job?
Abinader, I think he's soft.
Soft?
Yeah. I wish he was more like Donald Trump.
More like tough?
Yeah,
More like
firm.
nationalist?
Yeah, firm, yeah.
And the Dominican Republic has they ever had a black president or a black presenting president?
Yeah.
One?
A few.
Oh, name them.
You know Lilis? You know who Lilis is?
No, just name them. I don't know these people.
Ed Oaks. You don't know who Ed Oaks is?
Was their president?
Yeah, he was Ed Oaks. Do you know who?
Don't ask if I know. Just say.
No, I'm not. Do you know who Peña Gomez? Well, he actually was Haitian, and he almost won the election.
So Dominican Republic
he almost won the election.
Really? And he's black.
And he's Haitian, and he almost won.
Black.
And he almost won.
Was he black?
Yeah. Yeah, he was, and he almost won. A lot of people wanted him to win. The Dominican people wanted him to win.
So guys, listen to this. Dominican Republic has had black presidents before.
Yeah, yes, of course.
More than 3, more than 5, or whatever. But they've had black presidents before.
Yeah.
Okay, so people keep saying that.
Yeah, Ulises Erox. Yeah, he was Lilis.
Okay, so
he was a dictator.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what is it?
And remember Haitians, they conquered us. So they were ruling Dominican Republic for like how many years? 22 years? Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Like I want to learn from other people, you know, their food, their traditions. Like I'm okay with, I'm open to it, you know.
That's why this one of the negative things about coming to another country, and this one is to be around your own people. You don't grow. I feel like you don't grow as a person because you only know what's in your face, right? Because that's why I have friends who come from Argentina to America, and if you stay in New York, you only around other Dominicans, and just like the Chinese, I'm like, how you've been in America for like 20 years, you can barely speak English. That's like the negative, just being confined to your people. I feel like unity and love is being able to be around other people without losing yourself. You can still do that and learn more.
Yeah. But the thing is, I understand what you're saying. And I do promote that too. But the issue is, everyone isn't adventurous like us, right? Like, I believe I'm a very adventurous person. And so are you. You're very outgoing. You like to party, dance. You see somebody out in the street, hey, yo, let's dance. Like, you're very energetic, and you're fun, right? So, but everyone isn't like that. Some people, they like, they want that boring life. Go to work, go home, watch TV, go to sleep, go to, in that cycle.
Right.
Certain people like us, especially like if you're a content creator, you're not shy. You're willing to give your opinion on things, right? You're okay with disagreeing, and you can still be cool with the person, right? So, and I think that
what's your intelligence?
Yeah, and that's what I like about you. That you don't take it personal. We could debate. Look, earlier we was going at it, but we still cool over here, And this was fun with you, yo.
Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata. Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue, la casa de la bachata.